Sangit Skilljada Hinudi Kyang. Good day, I'm Vanessa Zahner. I'm from Old Masset, Haida Gwaii, BC. I'm from the Haida Nation on my mom's side, and I grew up here in the village, surrounded by the ocean and Haida culture, and it really kind of shaped the way that I feel about the ocean, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, all that good stuff. So I always explored the tidal pools when I was younger, and I always wondered what lived in those shells that washed up. I was just real curious. And when it was time to go to university, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I liked science generally. I thought I was going to be a doctor because I wanted to help people. But then I would come back every summer and I would do jobs where I was out on the land or out on the water, surveying for culturally modified trees, where my ancestors had bark stripped to create clothing and that kind of thing. And I kind of realized that that was the right path for me rather than being in a hospital. It just wasn't the right fit. And the more I kind of explored that, I'm like, maybe I like geology to learn about the natural history of the mountains, or the prehistoric animals that used to exist on the earth. And that ocean excitement just really caught me. So I just started to explore more about ecology and oceanography, because it's very broad about how everything in the ocean is interconnected and how it's connected with the land, and all the animals are important for one another and important for us. And so I wound up working in a lab where I was cutting open herring stomachs and looking at what was inside. It was really unusual. And I used to hate dissections in biology class. I used to always make my lab partner do them. But somehow I ended up in the lab doing that, and I thought it was really cool. And I actually just kept doing that. And I finished my bachelor's in Earth and Ocean Science, and I did a master's in oceanography doing the same thing. I cut open juvenile salmon stomachs. And that work was really exciting because it brought me all over the world, basically. I went to all these different places in BC, where I went to conferences. I did science outreach. I did salmon sampling in the Discovery Islands Johnson Strait area, just kind of north of Vancouver, between the Vancouver Island and the mainland there. And I got to go to Japan to present some of my work, and it was a really cool experience that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And so it's kind of just really interesting how my path kind of took this meandering way, and it was just more about going going with the flow and seeing where I ended up, and it turned out to be really cool. And I think salmon are really neat, and I just want to keep learning about them. But right now I'm doing a lot of community outreach, so I finished up my degrees, moved back home to Old Masset, and now I'm kind of connecting the community and the university to do research that's meaningful for us, because that's really important to me. So I'm kind of shifting gears from the technical science to more outreach, and I'm really loving it. So my advice is just be open to new experiences and don't think you have it all figured out, even if you think you do. Or just be open. If you don't know what you want, then that's just exciting. There's a lot of possibilities. So just have out for listening, and good luck out there. Bye.